Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So Hare Krishna, dear Prabhujis, dear devotees. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized. So in our last session, previous session, we read the 34th verse. And now we are reading the 35th verse, another very beautiful verse. So Lord Shri Krishna, he continues. He says, Bhayad ranad uparatam mansyate tvam maharataha yesham cha tvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. So very beautiful verse. Bhayad ranad uparatam mansyate tvam maharataha yesham cha tvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. Bhayad ranad uparatam mansyate tvam maharataha yesham cha tvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. Bhayat, out of fear. Ranat, from the battlefield. Uparatam, seized. Mansyate, will consider. Tvam, unto you. Maharataha, the great generals. Yesham, of those who. Cha, also. Tvam, you. Bahumataha, in great estimation. Bhutva, will become. Yasyasi, will go. Laghavam, decreased in value. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you a coward. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you a coward. So in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. So very small purport, only 5-6 lines, but very beautiful verse. Bhayad ranad uparatam. Bhayat, out of fear. Ranat, battlefield, from the battlefield. Bhayat, out of fear. Bhayat ranat. Uparatam, ceased or vanished, disappeared. So, Bhayat ranat uparatam mansyate tvam maharataha. Mansyate, will consider, will think. Maharatha, who will think? Maharatha, the great generals who have assembled in the battlefield. So Lord Shri Krishna, being a friend, he is telling the future to Arjunji. If you leave the battlefield, then the great generals Maharatha yesham cha tvam bahumato. Bahumat. So earlier you were in Bahumat. Many people, almost everyone, Bahumat, they highly esteemed your name and fame and your prowess. So Bahumata, in great estimation, Mat, Mat means vote. So Yesham cha tvam bahumato. Lord Shri Krishna here he is addressing Arjunji as Bahumato. Everyone, almost everyone, they had great estimation of your strength, your prowess, and bhutva yasyasi laghavam. But bhutva, you will become, yasyasi will go, laghavam decreased in value, bhayadranad uparatam mansyate tvam maharathaha. The great generals Maharathaha, who have highly esteemed your name and fame, Bahumata, who have highly esteemed your name and fame, will think that you have left the battlefield. Bhayat, Ranat, Uparatam. Uparatam left the battlefield out of fear only. And thus they will consider you a coward. Thus they will consider you a coward. So, very beautiful verse. Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. So that is the nature of this material world. Everyone is in ignorance and nobody actually knows the truth. Lord Shri Krishna, he will also describe in the 13th chapter. Only the Paramatma seated in the heart, he knows everyone's real situation. No one can understand anyone's situation because everyone is in ignorance. Whatever one's fallen mind, intelligence and false ego dictates, and whatever one is able to perceive through the knowledge acquiring senses, directly through the senses, that we tend to believe. So this world, everyone has fallen in this world because of their lording over tendency, and everybody has enviousness, lust, anger, greed, all those things in their heart, and always in this material world. Because of that, there is a competition, competitive mentality. Everyone is here in this material world to lord it over the material nature that Lord Shri Krishna will also describe in the forthcoming verses and chapters. Iksha dvesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata. Everybody has fallen in this material world because of iksha and dvesha. So dvesha, there is enviousness, and because of which there is everyone has competitive mentality. Everyone is competing with others and everybody want to be superior. And out of enviousness, because of enviousness and because of lording over tendency, and we can see practically, Duryodhana ji want to lord over or want to be the king. And out of enviousness he usurped Pandava's right, Pandava's kingdom. So that is the nature of this material world. This envy, this hatred and this jealousy, it gives rise to Adi Bhautik Kaleshas. This material world is described as Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. It is full of miseries. Always everyone in this material world, they are always suffering because of Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik and Adhyatmik Kaleshas. sufferings given by demigods, sufferings given by other living entities, sufferings by one's own mind and body. So Adi Bhautik, suffering given by others. So Lord Shri Krishna, he is explaining to Arjunji, that in future all these generals and captains and warriors who esteemed your name and fame, highly esteemed, Bahumata, who highly esteemed your name and fame in the past, will call you a coward people. And in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, Duryodhanji, Dushashan, Karna, already they were very, very envious. And as soon as they will get an opportunity to criticize, they will immediately criticize and they will laugh. They will say Arjunji ran away out of fear for his life. He was so afraid that he ran away from the battlefield, seeing so many other warriors and soldiers, and they will boast on their own capabilities. So that is the nature of this world, and Lord Shri Krishna, He is the friend of every living entity, and He is the protector of religion. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, and He gives special attention to sadhus, to gentlemen, those who are religious, those who always stick to dharma, those who are righteous in their life, those who have compassion for others. So nobody knows and nobody will know that Arjunji left the battle. That Lord Shri Krishna is informing him, that nobody will know that you left the battle out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that, and they will think, and they will propagate that you left the battlefield bhayad ranat uparatam, out of fear only, out of fear for your life. Though Arjunji, he already told that it would be better if they kill me unarmed. I am not going to even take up my weapons to kill my own relatives and friends and brothers and grandfather and teacher. So Arjunji is prepared to die. He is not fearful of his life. But if he denied to fight, then Lord Shri Krishna is explaining the future circumstances, what will happen, because Lord Shri Krishna is the friend of every living entity, and He is the friend of righteous. He is not only, of course, He is samoham sarva bhuteshu, that also Lord Shri Krishna will describe, but paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam. Father is equal to all his sons. So the Supreme Lord is also equal to all his part and parcel. He is a friend of Arjuna and he is a friend of Duryodhanji and Dushashan and Karna. But he want to teach them. He want to teach Duryodhan, Dushashan, Karna and other Kauravas that if you take up to a religion, then you will surely have to be defeated in the end. And in that way, he is giving more protection to sadhus, to Arjunji. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkitam. That is the duty of the Supreme Lord. That is the duty of a real father. A real father, he is a well-wisher. If some of his sons, they are misdirected, then that is the duty of the father to correct them. So that's why Lord Shri Krishna, because Arjunji is righteous, because Pandavas are righteous, Because Pandavas are religious, that's why Lord Shri Krishna, he is present on their side and he is guiding Arjunji and he is instructing, and that's why Lord Shri Krishna, he will say in the forthcoming verses, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. No one actually in this world knows anyone's situation completely. Nobody. What a living being is going through, that only and only the Paramatma who is seated in the heart, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Paramatma in the heart is a plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That will be described in the forthcoming verses, and that description, that information we get from the other Vedic literatures and Srimad Bhagavatam and other Upanishads and Puranas. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul seated in the heart, is actual friend of every living entity, because he only can understand everyone's situation properly. But still, being a friend, he always want everyone to stick to religious principles, because that way only one can do benefit to himself. By serving the Supreme Personality, by serving the will of the Supreme, by serving the will of the Lord, one actually benefits himself. So the Paramatma seated in everyone's heart always guide every living entity to be righteous and religious in life. But most of us, we hear to our fallen mind and intelligence and a false ego, and we take up to wrong path in our life, which only leads to defeat in the end. So, very beautiful verse. Bhayadranaduparatam mamam sate mamam mansate tvam maharataha yesham cha tvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi lagavam. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you a coward. Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfathers. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality, Bahumato, will go to hell. High estimation of your personality, and that will be a very, very painful, that will be very, very painful to you. So beforehand only Lord Shri Krishna is showing in one way the future to Arjunji if he neglects his duty. Because this fight is dharmyam, sangramam. This battle, this war is not an ordinary war. It is for the re-establishment of religious principles. So this war itself is not only kartavya or karma, it is dharma. To fight for the cause of religion is actually the dharma of Kshatriyas and of Arjunji. So very beautiful verse. In the next session we will take up another verse and we'll try to understand its various concepts through the beautiful purports of Swami Srila Prabhupada. So with this I would like to stop this session here. जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद सिद्धिवांगे सभा चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय. ऑल ग्लोरीज टू हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस. कृष्ण कृपा मूर्ति अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna, all glories to Bhagavad Gita, all glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Holy Name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.